What is going on, everyone? So Roki Sasaki is now down to his final 3 teams. He is either going to be playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2025, the San Diego Padres in 2025, or the Toronto Blue Jays in 2025. Yes, I did not see the Blue Jays coming. I don't think anyone saw the Blue Jays coming into this mix. With it being International Signing Day at the time of this recording on Wednesday, many teams were going out and signing 16-year-old prospects from the DR, Japan, etc., etc. But a couple of these teams are holding out and saving their bonus pool money, like the Dodgers, like the Padres, like the Blue Jays. All those teams are kind of quiet because they're the teams in on Roki Sasaki. So basically, this whole week is going to be Roki Sasaki watch week. It started on Monday when Roki eliminated all these teams, and the Blue Jays on Monday were announced as a finalist for Roki Sasaki, in my opinion, coming out of nowhere. And it's going to determine where he goes. He's running out of time to pick. He was posted back in December, and I feel like he's been given that extended window. It was a 45-day window, and it is coming to a close. So in this video, I'm going to take a look at the Dodgers, Padres, and Blue Jays via Fangraphs. I have the tabs open right up there. We're going to look at their rotations, who needs them the most, who I think he would fit with the most, and where I think he is going to go. Before we go on, however, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below, leave a like on this video, and comment down below where you think Roki Sasaki is going to go. We're trying out the face cam today just because I was lazy. I didn't want to find clips about Roki Sasaki and do the same thing I practically did weeks ago. Because this video, I think, is going to be an interesting, just chat. We're just going to be talking about Roki Sasaki in this whole situation. So let's get into this. So on Monday, it came out that Roki basically eliminated multiple teams that were in on him. This would be the Yankees, the Mets, the Cubs, the Diamondbacks, and the Rangers. And then also the Giants general manager also confirmed that they are no longer in on Roki Sasaki. I think out of all those teams, Roki more than likely could have gone to New York. I couldn't have seen him going to the Cubs, Diamondbacks, Rangers, or Giants. I think both New York teams would have been a good play for Roki Sasaki, especially there was that whole rumor of him not wanting to play for a big market, even though New York is such a major market. I think that was just a downplay by his agent to get teams out of the race, personally, or make just teams up their offer, honestly. With Roki Sasaki, however, I think it's always been the 3 teams. Actually, no, I think it's always been 2 teams, hypothetically, the Dodgers and the Padres. And I don't know how the Blue Jays are still alive in this race, but they somehow are. So let's take a look. So let's just take a look at these rotations very quick. And we are going to start with the team that I don't think needs him at all, but I think will sign him. And this is the Los Angeles Dodgers. So here is the projected rotation for the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2025. They added a Blake Snell. They added Yoshinobu Yamamoto last year. They added Tyler Glasnow last year. They have Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May. And I can't forget to mention this, Shohei Ohtani will be pitching next season. He hit all last year, but he's finally going to be back on the mound and make his Dodgers pitching debut next year at some point of time. Right now, the Dodgers have a great 6-man rotation. Not to mention they have young guys in Gavin Stone, Bobby Miller, all these other guys that can still pitch for them. They have so much starting pitching depth. I don't know where Roki Sasaki fits. I understand why he probably wants to play there. He wants to go play for his Team Japan teammates, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, etc. I just don't understand why the Dodgers really need to add him. I understand it would be an awesome move for Roki. I understand if it's a win now type of thing. But if you're the Dodgers, who are you kicking out of this rotation? Is Dustin May on the outs? Tony Gonsolin? Those have to probably be the 2 guys on the outs of the rotation, honestly. You'd probably throw one of them in the bullpen. Are you expecting Shohei Ohtani to be an everyday, once every 5 days, starter? Or you think he's going to get multiple starts this year? I really don't know what the Dodgers' plans are going to be with Roki in this rotation. I think he fits, honestly, as your number 4 starter. I don't think he's going to be a number 1, 2, or 3 this year. I think Roki in his first rookie year might struggle. I think the Dodgers know this. But I think they're going to make a guy like Shohei Ohtani keep him happy. I think it is a great fit, but at the same time, it's a fit that honestly doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, do I think it's going to happen? Heck, yes, I think it's going to happen because the Dodgers have always been the number 1 favorite. Now let's go on to the next team, the San Diego Padres, because I think they are a team that honestly needs to make the play for Roki Sasaki. Now here is the Padres' projected rotation. Dylan Cease, Michael King, Yu Darvish, Randy Vasquez, and Matt Waldron. Now, that rotation compared to what the Dodgers have is significantly worse. I like Dylan Cease. I really like what Michael King did last year, and I really like Yu Darvish. I have a question mark about a Randy Vasquez and Matt Waldron. As you see, their ERAs from last year, 4.87 and a 4.91. Those are the outliers. Those are guys you can probably put in the bullpen, especially probably a Randy Vasquez more so than a Matt Waldron. Now, here's the question. Roki Sasaki, where does he fit? He honestly fits right in the 4 spot, too, with this rotation. You honestly could put maybe Michael King back there if you don't see him as a great starter. I think he could be a great starter. I think he is a great starter. It's a great fit for the San Diego Padres. But I think Roki Sasaki, I take him over a Michael King in this pitching rotation. Now, what does this rotation look like with Roki Sasaki? I would put it Dylan Cease, Yu Darvish, Roki Sasaki, Michael King, and probably Matt Waldron as your 5. The Padres overall have been a very, and I mean very quiet team this offseason. I think they have been gunning for a Roki Sasaki move. I think they make the most sense for a Roki Sasaki move. Now, will it happen? I don't think so. I think the Dodgers will still beat them for Roki Sasaki, but it wouldn't shock me if they get Roki Sasaki because they seem to be the second best odds to get him. They've also seemed to be the best odds to get him. I know San Diego Padres fans really want Roki. Now, will it happen? I'm not sure. I'm sure they'll be in the comments below just saying why I'm wrong with this. Heck, if he goes to the Padres this week, I'll gladly be wrong. I just think he's going to go to the Dodgers, but I think he's the great fit for the Padres. I think the Padres desperately need them because this is a team that is so close. When we look at this lineup, Luis Arias, Fernando Tatis, Jackson Merrill, Manny Machado, Jake Cronenworth, Xander Bogaerts. Those top 6 in your lineup is a playoff caliber lineup. And that offense just disappeared. It disappeared in the playoffs. The pitching staff was doing its job. The offense kind of just slumped in the playoffs against the Dodgers when they choked that series away. This Padres team needs to add to this rotation just in case so they can protect that offense if it gets to the point in the playoffs where they just kind of just slump and they can only score 1 or 2 runs possibly. They need to add to this rotation to boost it and maybe contend for the division this upcoming year because the Padres' peak can be winning the NL West. I really think it can. But they are still a lot of moves away from doing that, guys. They are still a lot of moves away from that because right now I'm taking that Dodgers lineup over that Padres lineup. I'm taking that Dodgers rotation over the Padres rotation. But if the Padres can get Roki Sasaki and steal him from the LA Dodgers, man, they are slightly closer to that Dodgers rotation. I still think the Dodgers would have the better rotation, don't get me wrong. But I think the Padres may get a close one and may give them a run for their money this year. So the Padres, honestly, I don't think they'll get him, but they are probably the best possible fit for Roki. Now moving on to the elephant in the room, this team honestly just came out of nowhere. It's the Toronto Blue Jays. I really don't know how they are still in this race. I think Roki should have just made this a 2-team race, but you know what? It adds some fun. It adds some drama. Let's just talk about him for fun because honestly, I think Roki is also another great fit for this Blue Jays team. Now, will it happen? Probably not. I give it maybe a 5% chance, and man, I would really like to be wrong just so I can see some chaos unfold in the league. Kevin Gausman, Jose Berrios, Bowden Francis, Chris Bassett, Yariel Rodriguez. That is their projected top 5 starters. Kevin Gausman gave him a 383, 360 from Berrios, 330 from Bowden Francis, a 416 from Bassett, which I think was very upsetting this past year, even though he had the 2.2 WAR. Probably not the season you wanted out of Bassett. And Yariel Rodriguez gave him a 4.47. And he also started 21 games. He was brought in as a reliever, but he also got some starts. Now, if you add Roki Sasaki, you probably put Rodriguez back in the pen, because I'm keeping Francis in that rotation. I think he can be a very solid pitcher for them. Put up a 3.30 ERA in 13 starts last year. I like Gausman. I like Berrios. I like Bassett. I like Roki as a top 4 with Bowden Francis as your 5. Or you put Roki at the 3, Francis at the 4, Bassett at the 5. You put Rodriguez in the bullpen. I think that would desperately help this Blue Jays team, which honestly is just stuck right now. The whole premise and theme of this Blue Jays offseason, in my opinion, has been falling short. It has been falling short of signing players. They are always in on guys. They just can't get stuff done, guys. They got Jeff Hoffman signed. He's right down there. He's set as their closer. 3 years, $33 million. He might be starting for the Blue Jays. But then we see the news come out, and everyone's talking about it, that the Orioles and Braves almost signed Jeff Hoffman, but they came up close for him. Do you know why they came up close and didn't make it happen? He had physical issues, supposedly. Supposedly something with his shoulder. And when you're signing a pitcher, especially a relief pitcher, for that much money, that's honestly a gamble to take if he has a shoulder issue. He was great for the Phillies last year. A 2.17 ERA, 10 saves. I don't think he's going to be the Blue Jays closer because I honestly think they see him as a starter. So let's honestly look at this rotation hypothetically if they get Sasaki and throw Hoffman in there maybe towards the midseason because I don't think he's going to start as a starter. Possibly at the beginning of the year you have Gausman, Berrios, Roki, Francis, and Bassett. Now, if you move Hoffman into the rotation, I think you're kicking either Francis or Bassett to the bullpen. I think they would rather put Bowden Francis in the bullpen over Chris Bassett because Bassett is the proven starter of this Blue Jays team. It would probably go Gausman, Berrios, Roki goes up to 3, Bassett to 4, maybe Jeff Hoffman to 5. Overall, it is such a confusing situation in Toronto. This is a team that desperately needs to do something besides just Jeff Hoffman because look at this lineup. They added Andres Jimenez. He has a giant contract, but they added him. They traded Spencer Horwitz to Cleveland. Cleveland gave him to my Buccos. But Andres Jimenez, you add him. Alejandro Kirk, I think he can add. He has some pop. He's pretty slow, but he has pop. Vlad Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, who had a very bad year last year, who I think can bounce back, and George Springer. Now, this is the key. Vlad Jr. seems to be trade rumors spiraling out of control right now. The Red Sox could be a fit. The Cubs, the Mets, who knows where he's going to go, because contract talks don't look like they're going anywhere. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Blue Jays have a losing record by the trade deadline. Vlad Jr. is on another team that is contending. This Blue Jays team is so frustrating that I would honestly like to see them get Roki Sasaki just to please some of their fan base, well, their whole fan base, that is begging for them to do something that is relatively important to that group. This Blue Jays team has so much potential, and it is being wasted by them falling short on free agents. No one seems to want to go play up in Canada. No one wants to go to Toronto for half the year. That's probably part of the issue. Sadly, it is probably part of the issue, may I add that. But they need to capitalize on Vlad Jr. while they have him. They need to capitalize on what Bo Bichette can do while they have him. Both of those guys are trade candidates, and they're just sitting there. Vlad Jr. has a WAR of 5.5 last year. That is talent that any team would want and trade a haul of prospects for. They would love a first baseman like that. But they're just wasting it, guys. They are wasting it, and it's so frustrating to see because besides the Pirates, I really do enjoy watching the Blue Jays. They're one of my favorite teams. I like the Pirates, I like the Blue Jays, and I like the Marlins when they had Giancarlo Stanton, etc., and I still follow the Marlins a little bit. But when I'm looking at this Blue Jays team, they always come up short. The AL East has gotten so much better. The Yankees just made the World Series. The Red Sox are making moves and supposedly might be getting Alex Bregman. The Orioles are young and hungry. They came up short in the wild card last year, but I think the Orioles are a very good dark horse to make a World Series run possibly in the future, and the Rays are always going to be a pesky baseball team. So this Blue Jays team desperately needs to make a move. And closing this off, I wanted to bring up this tweet that I find very funny. Mark Feinstein is reporting, according to sources, both the Dodgers and the Padres have been calling teams with regard to trading for international bonus pool money with the hopes of bulking up the amount they can offer to Roki Sasaki. Especially the Dodgers, who this guy by Jack Harris was the first to report the Dodgers' interest of adding to their pool. Now, this all started a couple days ago when it was brought up on Pirates Twitter, which I'm greatly a part of, that the Dodgers, one of their top international signings or whatever commitments, decommitted and chose the Pirates. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. But many are like, this is probably because he got, I think, a $1.3 million signing bonus, it was. And if the Dodgers got that, they would have been minus 1.3 million on getting a Roki Sasaki. That 1.3 million could make the difference. So I find this very interesting. I think teams should be basically calling the Dodgers and Padres and offering this bonus pool money for a ransom, because those two teams are going to overpay the heck for international bonus pool money. And it's funny, international bonus pool spending money always seems to be the joke of a trade. It's always like, oh, we just got international money to use on prospects that are 15, 16 years old. Well, this year, it's different. It's for Roki Sasaki, who can be a pitching phenom. Thank you all for watching this video. It was a different type of video, just me talking with the face cam today. But if you liked it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below where you think Roki Sasaki is going to sign, because I think it is going to happen in the next couple of days. Maybe it happens right after I upload this. Who knows? Make sure to like the video, subscribe yet again if you aren't. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one, and I'll see you next time.